Welcome, everyone, to the Feminine Outliers podcast, your dose of fun, life advice, and experiences from two African professional women living and working in the Western world. We are your hosts, Zelda Wasau
and Cholwe Mandona.
And we are excited to have you here with us. So, welcome back to another episode. Again, as I said, we're really happy that you've joined us for this episode. We apologize that this episode is coming out slightly later than usual, but we had some hiccups along the way, hence why it's being released a little bit late. But we appreciate your patience with us. But I think this episode will be a really fun one. I'm really curious to see, how it will go, what we both are going to say. And as you saw from the title of the episode, it's what would you do? And basically, we're going to be talking about different ethical, moral dilemmas and also fun ones. And just basically discuss what we would do in certain situations. And we would look forward to hearing what you guys have to say as well. But as per usual, we start off with our unlearning segment. And I will go ahead and start with what I am unlearning for this week. So I'm unlearning not taking responsibility for where I am in life, or like being stuck particularly if I'm in a spot in life where I don't want to be. I'm learning taking responsibility. I'm unlearning not taking responsibility for that. I think it's very easy to blame others, blame your situation, your circumstances, your environment and everything. And truth be told, that can definitely play a role in all of this. But I feel like it's very important for me to also see what is my role in this whole entire situation. Because one of the things I'm realizing is self-sabotage is a real thing. And I feel like it's something that I have done and I've been doing. And this is definitely this can be another whole episode on its own. And it's just, I realize, like, for example, I think one of the ways I can give an example about self-sabotage is, why is it that I, for the longest time, even though I believe in being healthy and exercising and all that, it's like it's a part of me that doesn't want to have that dream body because maybe I feel like, oh, I'm not worth it or something. There's probably a small part of me in there that feels like that. And so that's sabotaging myself from getting to my dream goal of having a really healthy, fit body. Or, for example, when it comes to like my skin, for example, my skin has gotten much better. But like, I'm the kind of person who sometimes I do have an issue with habitually picking any small acne I have, which leads to scarring. But I'm like, why can't I? But a part of me is feeling like, oh, I can't have that beautiful skin that I see other people have. Like, I don't know why I feel like that. And that's all part of self-sabotage. And it really pulls you back. And so I'm realizing, even though I have a very healthy self-esteem, I'm like, I tell myself, hey, you're 100% worth it. You want to get to being that it girl, whatever that it girl is for you. Like for me, I want to get to that goal for how I see myself as a successful woman, how I look and everything. And I'm like, stop sabotaging yourself because there's a small part of you that's holding you back and preventing you from getting to your goals. And it's the same thing, are you afraid of posting something? Are you afraid of doing this? Question is, why? And I feel like it's just all part of self-sabotage. So I'm just unlearning that because I realize it's like I'm my biggest critic and I'm holding myself back in a lot of situations. I just have to, if I want something to change, a lot of times it's in my power for it to change. Like if if I'm in an environment that is not conducive for whatever I want, I can change it. But also I have to take responsibility for the fact that I can actually change it and recognize that. I can't just wait for my environment to magically change. It won't just magically change. I have to do something. So I think it's things like that. And I think this is something that seeps into our lives in so many small ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I can't. I'm done with holding myself back. And
Mm.
I'm in my era of the Zelda I always dream of is going to be. That's how
Mm.
it is by the end of the year. Yeah.
Amen to that. Um, Zell, it's actually funny that this is your unlearning piece because my unlearning piece is similar to yours. So I don't even know if it's just better for me to respond by sharing my unlearning, because I think the two will connect.
Go
Uh,
ahead.
yeah, so my unlearning piece is that the past does not need to impact your future. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, and what inspired me with this is what you were just talking about. I've gotten to a point where I'm just able to look at myself and say, why are you doing this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why why are you doing this? Like speaking of being healthy and fit, um like even when I buy, let's say, a box of cookies, like I'll eat one, which is great, like, okay, I'll eat a second one, which is like, all right, that makes sense, and maybe a third one. But then once I start getting to a fourth one, I'm like, why? Like, you know that you were satisfied with just the two, actually. Maybe the third one was a bonus because, I'm rewarding myself. But then at some point you're like, wait, why am I reaching out for the fourth cookie? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so I now like question myself, like, okay, why are you doing that? Um, but to expand on the idea of why am I talking about the past is, um, I've realized also that, um, I have certain narratives from childhood about life. I mean, about, let's say, how money works, or how you can generate wealth, or about people. And I learned all of that just from growing up, minding my own business, being a child, and just interpreting the experiences I was having with my family, with my friends. And I'm now at a point where some of those narratives and those interpretations were inaccurate. They were just not accurate. Um, and I'm realizing that no, you don't have to hold on to that narrative, especially if it's not serving
Mm-hmm.
you and it's not making you any better. And this is where I've actually come to realize that going for like therapy or counseling or even taking on coaching is very vital, because you basically need to reparent yourself, because all of that parenting that was done, like for the first, let's say, 18 years of my life, that was, I was under the care of my parents, and they did the best they could. But at this point, whatever I learned that was inaccurate, it's now my responsibility to change that. And I do believe
Mm-hmm.
that you can change that. And of course, when you decide to make a change, it's not it's not always easy. And I
Right.
think, you know what I mean, it's not always easy. And I think sometimes I fall into this idea of that, oh, because I'm smart, I should be able to get this. But in some instances, I just need to admit to myself and say, this part of my life is really hard, and I need a coach, or I need to go to counseling for this, because it's really ingrained in my mind, and it's so hard for me to just see it in a different light. And there's no shame in going for that, because it's just me showing that I really want to change, I really love myself, and I really want to become that better version that I picture myself in. So yeah, so yeah, that's so the past is just the past, and you create your future and address your past just accordingly, and keep moving forward with life, really.
Basically, you're kind of saying that you should not let the past hold you back. Um,
Exactly.
it's. I can see how you're saying it's very similar to what I was saying because I was saying you should not let yourself like self sabotage is a real thing. You shouldn't let yourself hold yourself back.
Mhm.
And some of the things that can actually cause self sabotage is holding on to your past and letting it hold you back. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, it's two very similar things. I think it's just so important for us to remind ourselves that. And I like the fact
Mhm.
that you were saying you are responsible now for
Mhm.
how you let it affect you. You know, what happened in the past happened in the past. But
Yeah.
now that you're at this stage, you're an adult, taking responsibility for your own emotions, for your belief system and all that is really important because you're no longer under the care of someone else. So you can formulate your own, belief system, your own mindset, how you see things because you're now independent. So now it
Mhm.
becomes a thing of step out and step out into yourself when you don't have any of these other factors, affecting it. And if you do have these factors affecting it, it's fine, but you should
Mhm.
not let them hold you back. I like that.
Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. And just to sort of go back to your point, to sort of come to a complete circle here, is like, for example, when it comes to you working out and wanting to be a better version of yourself, it might take a conversation with a coach or somebody who has gone through the same experience to actually find out why why things are not going the way you had planned. And as you
Mm,
said, it could be some interesting small reason, maybe something that happened to you when you were 8 years old, and you just, you just didn't really, you, something like your body or your mind was trying to protect you, and you've just always carried that belief. And then you realize, you're like, oh wait a minute, that is so true. And then you start to just at least become aware, and then find ways to address it, right? And so
mm,
it could be something that you yourself are not aware of, and it's not that you're like, oh, lazy, or you don't want to do it, but maybe something really deep, in your subconscious mind is just, you're holding on to some story that is not serving you anymore. So that's the way I look at it.
and this is where, as you said, that's where therapy can help and comes into play. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Look at us trying to be responsible. Honestly, part of my biggest motivation to be fit and everything is because with all my travel videos and my travel pictures, I want to look snatched.
Oh, there we
And
go. Oh. Uh-huh.
I want to
Yes.
have the stamina to do long hikes and go to beautiful places without
Mm-hmm.
feeling like my body is going to give up.
Exactly.
So,
No, I hear you.
hashtag motivation.
Hashtag motivation. No, this was great. Wow, we didn't even plan this, and we had the same thoughts. There we go.
Right?
Yeah, fun.
Oh my goodness. Now we're going to get to the topic of the day, and it's going to be, what would you do? So I'm going to give a scenario. Charlie will tell me what she will do. I will tell you what I will do, and then we'll go from there. This is a
Woo!
mixture of serious and non-serious ones. We'll probably start with the lighthearted ones, and we'll go to more serious ones.
Please, let's
Are
start.
you ready?
I am ready. I am actually pretty nervous here, but I would take it. I'll take it on. 2024. Here we are. Yes.
Okay, so let's start. So, while driving in rush hour traffic, someone cuts you off and they make a rude gesture at you. Later on, you see the same car in the grocery store parking lot. The keys are in the ignition, but no one is in the car. So what do you do? So these ones have options. Would you A, ignore it, or would you B, drive the car to the other side of the parking lot, then sit in your own car and wait for them to come out just to see how long it takes them to figure out what exactly happened? And you can also give your own other option.
Okay. So so basically, um, the owner of the car, um, I don't know, went into the grocery store and left the keys in their car. Is
Mm-hmm.
it okay? Um, that's a and okay. So then I have an opportunity to maybe have some sort of interaction with them. Is that the premise there? Like, what would I do knowing that this person cut me off in traffic and I have the opportunity to do something about it, perhaps?
Yeah, you have an opportunity to pay back.
Oh, to pay back. Oh, um, that's very easy for me, actually. This is a light. This one is light because I don't get offended when someone cuts me off in traffic. So you've seen how I drive.
I see. Yeah. You're like it's as if you're like driving in La La Land. even if you're
Exactly.
even if you're on the fast lane and everyone's trying to someone tailgating you, you're still driving in La La Land.
No, seriously. And I think I've been given the middle finger actually in one instance. And I just looked and I was like, okay, I see. Um so I already know how I feel about that. I don't get offended easily when driving. Um to me it's
Lol.
just to me I'm just like living my best life driving. So that's a pretty easy one. I wouldn't actually do
Okay.
anything.
So you'd ignore it. Okay.
I would ignore it. Yeah.
I think I'd do the same thing. I just feel like some of these things are just not worth your trouble. Even if they did something that was really irritating and maybe could have easily caused an accident,
Mm,
I'm not the kind of person who would do anything about it. Again, because I feel like I'm a little bit more aggressive than Chole is with driving, but I'm not in the aggressive category for drivers.
mm,
I feel like I'm still in the edge of the relaxed category, close to the I don't know aggressive people, but like I'm more on the relaxed side. I just like because I'm
mm-hmm,
very calm in general, so I feel like I'll just you know what I'll be like it is what it is
mm-hmm.
and move on. So
Yeah.
okay, that was
Yeah.
good.
That was really good.
That
I was gonna say, I think I would use the word assertive. You're just an assertive person, so you're like the confidence in your driving, and you're willing to take, responsibility for your driving and whatever speed you go at or
mm.
whatever. So I would say it's just assertive. As you said, I'm in La La Land. I love to drive, so
Yeah, you're definitely La La Land. I still remember that, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Okay,
Yeah, driving Miss Daisy vibes. That's me. So.
totally. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you find a wallet full of money. There's an ID in it, but the person looks mean. What do you do? Do you try to return it and hope that they give you $10 or something for your trouble? Do you go to a currency exchange and get all their money converted into rubles or whatever money and then return their
Mm,
wallet? Do you just
mm,
leave the what? Do you just forget about it? What would you do? You can
oh,
always come with your own option.
mm. Okay, so I have two thoughts on that one. The first one is return it, um, and then hope that. I mean, I don't mind getting something something. I don't even know what value I would put to it, but at the same time, I would also get some joy from it if the person was overwhelmingly like just happy that it was their wallet was returned to them, because there are certain things that for
Mm-hmm.
me I personally don't like losing, and the things I don't like losing are government documents. And the reason I don't like
Right.
losing government documents is because I just think of the bureaucracy involved in trying to get them back. It's not even about, oh, I need, like, it's not that I can't get them back, because in like I just don't want to be spending my time in a long queue trying to apply for another ID card or like something like that. So I'm just like, so um I would be happy to return it. But then the other thing is the other option that comes to my mind is I don't want to touch someone's wallet. Like sometimes I'm thinking I'm going to be in this like thriller where it's like my fingerprints are on this wallet. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
what what that means. Is it stolen? And then will I have to be explaining to the cops about why I was holding this wallet? So I'm torn between the two thoughts. So I could probably ignore it. That's what I'm trying to say, is that with the second option I would maybe just say, you know what,
Mm.
I really wish the best for this person. So I don't know. I'm torn.
Ah, mm. I see what you're saying. Honestly, I feel like I'd probably just return it without expecting a reward. Simply
Mm,
because if I lost my wallet, I would really like someone to just return it, and I'd be grateful. I mean, I'm hoping the person will say thank you, but that's all I need.
mm,
I don't need you to give me money from your. I don't need you to give me any money from your wallet. Just because I feel like if I was in the same situation, I would want my wallet just returned to me. It was the time I dropped my credit card, and someone behind me stopped me and was like, "Hey, you dropped your credit card." I was really
mm,
grateful. So, yeah, I would do that. But I totally see what you're saying. In which, if if this person is mean, and then they're saying like, "Oh, if you pick it up, what if something happens?" And then they say, "Oh, so and so, this person is the one who brought me the wallet, so they must be
mm-hmm,
responsible for this." I mean, we
mm-hmm.
live in a crazy world. It's not
Yeah.
crazy to think that someone can twist the story around, which
Mm-hmm,
is sad because I feel like this is such a simple, basic situation that, hey, someone just
mm-hmm,
simply dropped their wallet, but it can get complicated. But I'd mostly just give it back, not expect anything, and just be like, go from there, you know?
mm-hmm.
'Cause that's what I'd want done for me.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
good
also,
one.
just yeah, just on that one, because I was also gonna say some people just look mean when they take their pictures. So also, it's just could be a coincidence. Oh gosh. Anyway, yeah, this was a fun one.
Let's go to some a serious one. Let's see.
Oh, serious.
Um. Okay, so you have to pay attention.
Okay.
You're driving your car when you
Mm-hmm.
see five children run into the road in front of you. When you put your foot on the brake, it does not work. The only
Uh-oh.
alternative is to hitting the children is to turn the car onto the pavement. However, a boy is standing on the pavement, and if you drive into the pavement, you will hit him instead.
Oh.
What should you do? And there's no
Oh.
options for this one. Just
There is no options. Okay. So basically they are people in either direction. I
yeah. So
get it.
it sounds like five children. If you go forward, and then if you turn to the pavement, you'll hit a boy. So
Mm.
one child. So it's like a 5 versus 1 kind of scenario.
Okay, I see where they're going with this. First of all, that is a very scary situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think I don't know if I've thought about this before. Like, what happens if you lose your brakes? Um, just in general. Um, so let's see. I would, I would open my window and just tell and start shouting, telling the kids on the road, the 5 kids on the road, get out of the way. This car has no brakes. Like I'll like I wouldn't like I'll just use simple sentences like get out the way. This car has no brakes. I don't know, like just shouting until it makes sense. Like, huh? What's going on? And and would I? I don't know. That's a tough one. Because and the thing for me is that I just view people as valuable. So even if
Mm-hmm.
it's saving one, I know some people can calculate like it's better to save one. Maybe it seems better to save five over one, but even that one is also valuable. So I'm just it's hard. It's really hard. I don't know. And it's making me sad. I'm trying to think through. So the
It's
best I could.
hypothetical, Joel. You shouldn't get too sad about it.
So I'm just like I wanna, because in my mind I'm just like I'm already trying to save everyone, and so the
Well,
best
you
I could.
can't.
So I I would just shout and say get out of the way, and then if they don't, no one gets out of the way, I'll just close my eyes. I don't know. That's my answer.
And let your car go in the direction. So if it goes in the direction, it hits the 5 children.
I'm sure they. I yes. Okay, I'll try and save five. The way I feel like I'll try and save the five and maybe the one, unfortunately. But then I'll shout at the one and be like, get out the way. The car has no brakes.
I think, honestly, being the logical person I am, I would probably try to save the 5 and
Mm,
unfortunately hit the 1.
mm.
Um, but there's a twist, plot
Oh,
twist.
okay.
What if the 1 happens to be your child?
Okay. Since I don't have my own children yet. I think I would try and save my child.
And
Um,
I,
yeah,
I, I mean, I agree with that. I feel like I tried to save my child, and unfortunately, the the 5 would be affected. But the
yeah.
thing is that I feel like in those moments when your instincts kick in, I think your instinct will naturally to be protect your child. And because it's such an
Mm-hmm.
emergency situation, maybe if you had more time, you might have actually convinced yourself to save the 5. But
Mm-hmm.
because it's, I think, instinctual, I think your instincts will just get you to save your child. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. And also, isn't there a way to we should actually know this about what to do if your car lost brakes. Um
I think I was told you're not supposed to press. Just let it continue. Let it keep going in a straight line, ideally, until it comes to a halt. Don't try
mm,
to like slow it down, because when you try to slow
mm,
it down, I mean, like by trying like pressing on something, or I think that's what I was told. Just let it keep on going.
yeah. Hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. We've done the best we could with this scenario. Very, very tough one.
Okay, let's go to another tough one.
Oh, oh.
So it's not that bad. This one is not as bad. I think so. I don't know. I haven't read the whole thing. A, wo- a woman you know has robbed a bank, but instead of keeping the money, she has given it to an orphanage so that they can afford to feed, clothe, and care for the children in need. The police have come to ask you if you know who committed the crime. So you can tell them who did it, but if you do, there's a good chance that the woman will be caught and all the money will be returned to the bank, and the orphanage will be forced to close down. What should you do?
Wow. Okay. Wow. I mm, it's a good question. Um it's a good question. I don't know. I'm a strong believer that the way something starts, it's the way it ends. I don't know how I can connect that with this question, but what I'm trying to say is that the where the money came from, like the energy, it came from this lady robbing a bank. I don't know why I'm just uneasy about all of that in the first place. Like I would feel uncomfortable with that. And so I just feel like things are not going to go well. I don't know. And this might be more of like a like I said, an energy, something more from a spiritual standpoint than, well, yeah, but she spent the money on the orphanage and now we have an orphanage. Um so I I think I would rather tell the cops, or authorities, that this is the lady who stole the money. I'm just all about keeping the peace, and not carrying like secrets, and because then it will always be like, where did this money come from a robbed bank? Like, we robbed a bank, like, so no, I think that's the path, because I feel like losing your peace is very, very expensive. And I would rather keep my peace than keep a load, like, I don't know, loads of money. So that's my choice on that.
You know what I'm coming to realize as I hear you speak is that you're
Mm.
a little bit more emotional than I thought you were.
Oh, I don't know if that's a good thing. Why am I saying oh? Okay.
I don't know. It's because you seem so. You're like, oh my goodness, so distraught. And then I'm here just like, I just do that. Because you're, I think for me, my logical side is coming out. And then I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm seeing you like really thinking hard about these questions. And I'm like, okay. I mean, but I see where you're coming from. You know what I would think I would do? I'm the kind of
Mm.
person who I'll just ignore. I'll just be like, nope, I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about, policeman. I didn't see anything. I'm going about my life. Because as long as no
Mm.
one, I mean, no one was hurt, no one died or
Mm.
anything like that. It's just she simply just robbed the bank.
Mm.
I think part of me is because it's going to a good cause. I think part of me would
Yeah.
just like ignore. I literally just ignore.
Yeah.
I was not here. I was not there. I'm invisible. Don't consider me. Don't look at me. I am not here. Because if you don't
Mm.
involve me in your problems, I'm not involved. Now, if someone was hurt in the process,
Mm.
hell yes, I'm definitely reporting it to the police.
Mm.
But if it's one of those, I'm not gonna lie, I like watching these shows of these people who, these high end criminals, like that. These people who are like high class robbers, and basically they rob the bank and stuff in style. They don't hurt anyone. They are against hurting anyone. I don't know why I like watching those
Mm.
shows. It's just so funny. Sometimes when you see some of these things, and I think I like the
Mm.
fact that they don't like rob anyone, they don't hurt anyone. Like that's against their code of ethics. So like even some of them, like I think there's
Ah.
a show in which they go in with fake guns.
Mm.
They look like real, but they're
Ah.
actually fake guns. And
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think I would
Yeah.
totally just ignore. I just feel like I wasn't here. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
go retreat
And
into my life.
yeah.
Yeah.
You actually reminded me of I don't know if you have watched Ocean's 11.
11. Yeah, oceans 11, 12, 9, 8, all the oceans.
Yeah, all the oceans.
I've watched them.
Yeah. I get that vibe when you're talking about that kind of
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why I like watching those things. It's just so, I just like how they pull those things off.
mm,
It's
yeah,
so,
I get it. I get what you're saying. It's actually pretty fun, like when they make the plan, like they make the plan and then they execute it, and
hmm,
yeah. Now I want to watch Oceans, the Oceans movie.
right?
Okay.
We should watch it and a trip next month.
Yes.
Okay.
Noted.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, let's do a fun one. Your child
Yes.
asks you if Santa Claus is real. What do you do? So there's options for this one, okay?
Okay.
Do you tell them the truth and also tell them that there's no Easter bunny or tooth fairy either? In fact,
Mm-hmm.
most of what that they know has been a lie, and father suggests to them that they'll discover more lies as they get older.
Mm-hmm.
That's option A. Option B
Mm-hmm.
is ask your children if they really want to know the answer or if they'd like to keep receiving presents from the magic people. I like
Mm-hmm.
how they say the magic people.
The magic.
What would you do?
Okay. I would tell my child the truth. Like I wouldn't even, how do I say this? Like the truth being that it won't be telling my child the truth of like, oh, this doesn't actually exist. I would first of all give them an understanding of why are we celebrating Christmas, like the intentions or the origin of celebrating Christmas.
Hmm.
Like, but do it in a way that's like, okay, Christmas has, religious affiliation with the birth of Jesus Christ. And then I would say, um, then there was this guy, Santa. I need to know I don't know the history or the full history of Santa, but explain it in such a way that, like treat them like an adult, like not that I'm trying to destroy their fun, but like kids usually ask questions like, why is it like this way, why is it like I and the thing about, for me, what I've noticed with kids is they're so imaginative. Like
Hmm.
they can create their own ideas. Like, I need to increase their fantasyful world, or like, I don't know, like I just feel like I don't need to do that. I'll just tell them where these things are coming from. Um, and so I don't know. Maybe it's also depending on the age.
Hmm.
Um,
That's what I was thinking.
yeah, I think it depends on the age.
I
Um,
don't know. I
yeah.
don't know because for me personally, I've seen a couple of people say, "Oh my goodness, hell yes, I'm not gonna tell them it's real because it's fake and blah 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 blah." But I kind of had a good experience growing up thinking about Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. It's just kind of fun, gives you something to hope for. Like I feel like people sometimes dig in and think too like deep about some of these things. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, it was simply just fun. I don't remember which age I actually realized that Santa is not real, or the Tooth Fairy was actually my parents, or I don't remember what age it was. But the fact that I don't remember is also a good sign that it wasn't traumatic or anything. Like I think you
mm,
just discover it at some age and you're like, oh, okay. But I feel like when you discover it, you're probably at an age which you're like all those fantasies and all those like this childhood fantasies of like, beautiful world, this and that, are
mm-hmm.
just starting to fade away and you're more getting in touch with reality. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
fine. I
Mhm.
feel like at a certain age is might be when I tell them, "Oh yeah, but I mean, because here's the thing, I can still talk about Easter, Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, while
Mhm.
still like telling them the Christian values of like what is the true meaning behind Christmas, what
Mhm.
is the true meaning behind Easter." I can still
Mhm.
tell them that, but still have fun with Easter bunnies and Easter eggs and things like that. I
Mhm.
feel like as they get older, when they're old enough, probably when they get to like their 10, 11, 12, they'll probably start being able to understand these things more and then realize, well, yeah, actually, mom and dad were actually a tooth fairy or things like that. So I just feel
Mhm.
like with age, there might be a certain age. I don't know how it will be. I think it will
Mhm.
depend on your kids, but I think
Mhm.
you will know. They might be ready to know this. I don't even know if my parents told me or if I found out by watching all these. Like, you know how you watch
Mm.
shows or movies and then somehow things come out and you're like, oh, I don't know. I just don't think it's as deep as people make it seem to be.
Mhm.
I feel like it's just a fun, cute thing, and they can learn the true meaning, as I said, but just because I enjoy it. Like even like in Christmas, I remember one of the things I do, like because I spent a couple of Christmases away from my family because I was in med school or whatever. My
Mhm.
goal would be I would play this Christmas game. It's like I like playing um, hidden object games. So there's a
Mm.
Christmas game in which there's all this like Santa Claus and he has his helpers, and the kids are basically trying to help him when they're going to the North Pole, and you have to do all these. You have to find all these things. I find it so
Mhm.
cute. I'm like, I know
Mhm.
Santa is not real, but does it hurt?
Yeah.
Like to have a little imagination.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Yeah. And I think it also depends on the to me it also depends on the context, on the atmosphere. I mean, definitely Santa Claus, it's a Western concept, right? Um, I think I've mentioned this in a previous podcast episode about how if it's we're talking about Santa on the continent. I mean, we need to come up with like our own version of what of Santa and like what Santa eats and how Santa comes to our homes because the homes are set up differently and some of them don't have chimneys. So we kind of need to recreate this Santa if you know to if we need to. And but yeah, yeah, but I get you that it doesn't hurt, especially when you're a kid and you just want to have fun. So makes sense.
Okay. Are you ready for another one?
Whew. Okay. Yes.
You work at a company with one of your friends.
Okay.
Your friend is a computer whiz, and one day he tells you that he has hacked into the company's account and discovered that the assistant manager is stealing money from the company. You feel you should tell the manager, but if you do, she'll ask you how you know. If the manager hears that your friend has hacked into the company's account, your friend will be fired. What should you do?
Okay. Why is my friend hacking into the system?
I mean, people who are computer geniuses, you see that all the time in movies. It's so easy for them. Maybe they just want to see what's there. I don't know.
I mean, just like I don't know. Why can't you just go chill at home and watch Netflix? I don't know. Like, why are you hacking? Because the I have the same attitude that you have about the other scenario with the lady who robbed the bank. Like, I just don't want to be involved in this. Like, I just want to do my best work and go home. So uh why is this person hacking into this? Because and the thing about it is just maybe there's already so much going on at work, and it's just trying to dig deeper into like why is this way, or why is it this way, is I don't know. It just seems a bit. It seems a bit too much. It's almost like if you're fishing for trouble, you'll find it, or if you're just
Hmm.
doing it, you'll find it, and then you now become responsible for having to deal with it. Now that you have found this trouble, so hmm. And I guess what I would just, I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one, Zell. I don't know.
What are you leaning more towards?
Wow. Hmm. I'm leaning towards. Okay, so if I find out, I mean, I guess I need to provide the evidence. I can't just be giving verbal evidence saying this is what's happening. I need to provide more concrete evidence. So maybe it's the way I would present the information to the manager. I
Hmm.
think that's the way I would probably do it. And then, um, yeah, that's one way I would do it. Or I'll just tell my friend, you have to find another job. Sorry. So, you know, clearly you can do more with your skills
Your
and
skills.
go do some spy work or something like that. This is clearly not your arena. It's too small for you. The pond is too small. So you're a big fish and go make it work somewhere else. Seriously. Yeah, that's my thought on this.
So when you're saying by them finding another job, does that mean you're reporting?
Yes.
I'm just asking because I I need to know. You don't go around it. So are you reporting them or not?
Yes, I am. I am. That's my inclination to do that. Otherwise, it will bother me.
Okay. Okay. So my take on this one, I think I would also report them.
Mm,
Not because it bothers me,
mm,
but because I feel like in such a scenario, if you compare it to the robbing the bank, I feel like robbing the bank, it's harder for them to prove that you know anything. I feel like with this kind of scenario, it's easier for them to trace, like, trace and figure out that you actually know something. And
mm-hmm,
if people figure out that, if you don't say anything and then in the future, these people are found out, then they find out that you actually knew, it
mm-hmm,
could put me in trouble. So I
mm,
would report them not because I I mean what they did is morally wrong and I would never do that myself. But it's more so because of self preservation.
mm,
Because if I get caught in that conundrum,
mm-hmm.
it could be an issue for me as well.
Yeah,
So to save myself, I'll just be like, unfortunately, I have to report this.
yeah.
And I'll do it hesitantly because I don't want to get my friend in trouble. But at the same time, again, as you said, why is my friend hacking the computer? So
Yeah.
I think in that case, for self preservation purely, I would actually just say so that I make sure my name is clear. Now, I
Mm-hmm,
think afterwards, I'll still have that guilt of, oh, I might be the cause that my friend lost their job. I probably would feel that at the back of my mind. But then I would remind myself that no, 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 they actually did it to themselves. In
mm-hmm,
the end, like they shouldn't have hacked into the system in the first place. Now, even the assistant manager, the assistant manager is the one who none of us care about the most because I feel like they're still in the funds. It's fine if they get into trouble for that. We're just
mm-hmm,
like, that's fine. I'd feel bad more so for my friend, but it's just
mm-hmm,
one of those situations in which, again, self preservation. And this is like the Zelda I've become because beforehand I used to be so, so selfless. But then I realized it's a really selfish world. And even though
mm,
you need to think about others, which I definitely go by that, like make sure you think about others and treat them how you'd want to be treated, you also have to realize that they're thinking about themselves. So you also have to consider yourself.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from. Yeah. Um, no, that's a good point. And I guess with me, the way, as you said, I seem to be very emotionally strong, which is my intuition. Or like I have a, yeah, like to me, I'm just thinking it gives me a headache when things are not straightforward.
Mm.
So for me, I'm just like, okay, if they ask me who did it, here's the person who did it, figure it out. I'm out. I'm done. Like I'm just less stressed out.
I
Um,
guess
yeah.
it's interesting because for me, on the other hand, I just have the ability to just block and ignore and just be like,
There you
mm-mm,
go.
nope, mm-mm, not happening, not my problem. Like,
Okay, I see. I see. I probably have to practice what your skill, um, because I see how my emotional side also serves me, but I need to practice it in such a way that I use it in the right context, not on everything, but genuinely from what we're talking about, you can see that I'm probably leading more with my emotional side more than my logical side. So,
mm,
yeah.
yeah, I think I ended up coming like this because I mean I feel like when I'm at work, I have to care about everything my patients say. Like I have to care about their problems, care about everything.
Mm,
And so I feel like, and it's a very emotionally demanding. Being a physician can be really emotionally demanding. And I
mm,
think I just learned part of my coping mechanism is to also just care about the things that actually matter. And
mm,
the other things is just like, I get like I don't have the capacity to deal with all of it.
mm,
And I had to learn that as a coping mechanism for, you know, as a physician. So
mm. That's a good
yeah,
one. That makes sense. All right.
okay.
One more.
We can do one or two more, depends on how long we spend on this one.
Okay.
So your brother fell into quicksand. 7 feet away is a vial containing the only known cure for cancer. You only have time to save one. Which do you save?
Oh my goodness. My brother is gonna listen to this podcast. That's
This one actually has options.
okay.
You can save your brother,
Mm-hmm.
the vial. You could ask your brother what he wants you to do, or you could do neither.
Wow. 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 I would I think it's not I would ask my brother what he would like me to do. Um yeah, I would ask my brother. Um and yeah, cuz I feel like I would be inclined to save my brother.
Hmm.
Um but also I'm a person who is very leader oriented. So I would look forward to seeing a world that has no people don't have to deal with cancer.
Hmm.
So so maybe I would like negotiate with my brother, be like, okay, um, but this will save lives. But you want to keep living? I don't know. Like we would be going back and forth. I don't know how much time we have to make this decision, but I'm sure it's going to be very short. So yeah, ultimately, I'll ask him.
I honestly, I don't have much to say about that. I would probably ask him as well and see what he wants me to do. Because as I said, my as I agree with you, my inclination would be to save my brother. But also, in the back of my head, I'm like, wow, you could save millions and millions, probably even billions of lives
Yeah.
if with this cancer cure. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like just ask your brother. Which and if he screams at you for being foolish and being like, of course you have to save me, I'm like, I I'll be like, I apologize, and of course I save him. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Tough
think I
one.
like that one.
Tough one. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we can do oh, one more.
Okay.
Actually, it's a would you rather question. Okay. Would you
Mm.
rather be forever poor and honest or get rich by doing illegal things?
Wow. These questions. Um, Poor and honest. The thing about it, and maybe yeah, like sometimes when I think of questions like this, it seems easier to just say an answer that seems like, I don't know, like righteous, so something that's, oh yeah, of course I want to be a good person in this situation. But sometimes it's like, okay, if you're really pushed against the wall, maybe the illegal and being rich makes much more sense. um
Mm-hmm.
uh, but my inclination is on the poor and honest, and the reason I'm going for that is because I really value my peace. Like, it's just, I find it very priceless. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if I can go to bed and sleep for 8 hours without thinking about what tomorrow brings or what I did yesterday, to me that's the best gift I can ever give myself. Because I have noticed just that when I'm in that sort of atmosphere, I have a zeal for life. I get excited about the next day. I get excited about what I can create or what I can do. And I just, there's something to me about dishonesty, or things where, I feel like I have cheated, quote unquote, the system, or I don't know, the way things work. I always feel like somehow it's just gonna come right back in some unknown way. And
Okay.
I'm just not I'm just not the person willing to find out how that's going to happen. So I would go with,
There's two other options. I'd rather just have an average income and be slightly trustworthy,
oh,
or I'd rather be poor and dishonest.
wow, poor and dishonest. That's like, those are those are symptoms of like some interesting life there. No, I would definitely not poor and dishonest. Um, so yeah. So you said average income and trustworthy. And
Slightly trustworthy.
geez, okay, you can always kind of make a balance there.
You know, I don't know what I would do in this scenario. I'm leaning towards average income and slightly trustworthy versus rich and doing rich in the legal way. For me, it depends on what is illegal.
Oh, okay.
Like, what exactly is the definition of illegal? Is it like, as long as it's not like are you somehow evading taxes,
Yeah.
which we know like rich people in this country do, and things like that you kind of found a loophole in the system
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
that
Yeah.
I feel like if it's something like that, I would be rich and dishonest in that aspect, but not if it's like, oh, I own a drug cartel and
Yeah.
that's how I become rich. It's
Mm,
more so, can I like, I feel like I'll be more so towards it if I'm like if I it's like finding a loophole in the system
mm-hmm.
that I
Okay.
don't mind.
Okay.
But in
Yeah.
general, I lean more towards average and slightly trustworthy.
Slightly trustworthy. Yeah.
It's such a funny way for them to put it. Average and slightly trustworthy. Um,
Yeah.
but okay. So this was a fun uh episode. I think I've
Yeah.
learned that Chloe really how you like your moral ground is very important for you, and like it's like and your emotion, like you lead with your emotions sometimes.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it's more so just I think I go the more logical route, but I
Mhm.
also try to go the route that's not the least resistant. I feel like the least troublesome in a good way. Like I'm not trying to do illegal things and
Mhm.
just you know, but
Mhm.
yeah, if I can avoid it or like ignore,
Mhm.
as long as no one is getting hurt or anything,
Mhm.
that's so me.
Mhm.
But we've come to the end of this episode. Please let us know, what are your thoughts, what are your opinions. You can reach us on the feminine outliers at gmail.com. We are also on Instagram. Yes, we will do a better job at posting and engaging with you guys, but please follow us on Instagram. Our handle is the feminine outliers. We are also on, you can listen to us on Spotify. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, all the major podcast platforms. You can listen to us on them. Please like us, um, give us, rate us, share us with your family and your friends. This all helps, get us more, you know, uh, people to listen to our episode and more engagement. If you have any questions, as I said, you can reach us at thefeminine at gmail.com. But it's been really fun, guys, and until next time, have fun, live large, and don't be afraid to be an outlier.